Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of SmackDown. This is Michael Cole here with my broadcast partner, Taz. Houston, Texas is home to SmackDown action tonight. I'm Michael Cole here with Taz at ringside, and what a show we've got for you tonight.
Absolutely, Cole. And you know what? I've always wanted to say this. Houston, we got a problem. Actually, we don't have a problem because SmackDown's in town.
You got that right, partner. The Space City loves SmackDown, and the superstars are not going to let them down. A high-risk maneuver in the works from that top turnbuckle. And there's the reversal.
Man, his opponent looked like a punk with that counter. Chris Benoit's a great technical wrestler, no doubt about it. But after taking all the abuse he's taken in his career, I don't know if he's going up, and what goes up must come down.
The person in charge of enforcing the rules is blatantly violating them here.
Man,
he's stalking his opponent from the top turnbuckle.
These superstars are on top of their game, but only one of them is going to have their hand raised at the end of this one.
And that's a real shame because, like you said, this has been a great match so far.
Well, what do you want, Cole? You want to say that everyone wins so nobody gets their feelings hurt?
I never said that. I'm just saying that in a great match like this, everyone involved deserves credit for it.
These WWE fans just can't get enough of these superstars.
And I'm glad to see it. A WWE match isn't just about competition, it's also about entertaining the fans.
Okay, well, if that's the case, how come they got you as an announcer? I mean, that ain't exactly great entertainment, in my opinion.
You might be right, Taz. I think it would be extremely entertaining to listen to you try to call a match all by yourself.
You gotta
look at him. He's just radiating confidence, and he's got a lot to be confident about.
Yeah, but he looks a little overconfident to me, Cole. And that could come back to bite him on a you-know-what. Whoa! I think these fans have got a little something they want to share with us.
And they're right, Taz. They paid for their tickets after all. Each of these competitors, he's taking a little time to give his opponent a piece of his mind.
You sure you can spare it, Cole?
Come on, ref. That should have been a disqualification right there.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, Cole, but it's not. It's not a disqualification.
I knew it was only a matter of time before we saw that. I don't like it. But as long as it wins matches, it's going to...
What they're saying or not.
What a submission maneuver. You must be familiar with this one, Taz.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of it, Cole. That's the truth. And let me tell you, it's better to give than receive.
He's got this crowd solidly behind him. And now he's going to give them exactly what they want to see.
You can't just keep playing to the crowd, though, Cole. That's a huge distraction, in my opinion. I think Benoit might have lost a step or two when he took that little vacation from SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? We all know that the competition on Raw isn't exactly impressive, and I think Benoit might have gotten a little rusty.
What are you talking about? If anything, Benoit's become more impressive since he went to Raw. It's great to see him in action again tonight.
Wow, look at that submission. I ain't never seen it executed better.
Neither have I, partner, and this might be enough to get the... He's looking for his finisher!
And there it is, Cole, the RKO. Man, that'll take your head right off. I love hearing the crowd come alive, even when I don't exactly agree with what they're saying.
Me too, and I do agree with what they're saying, Taz. He anticipated that move perfectly.
There's the cover. 1, 2, 3.
Here's your winner, Chris Benoit.
I don't know what the heck you were thinking last week, but you landed yourself in a whole lot of hot water. All I asked you to do was to call that match right down the middle, but I guess The Undertaker didn't see it that way. Anyway, you've got the dead man mad at you, and that's like signing your own death warrant. He's asked for a match against you, and there ain't no way I'm gonna tell that man no. But here's the really scary part. No one's seen Benoit since last week's match, and I've got no idea what's going through Benoit's head. Good luck, player. You're gonna need it.
We know that music. Here comes The Undertaker. Under normal circumstances, he'd be considered the most intimidating superstar on SmackDown, but I'd say he's in a particularly foul mood tonight after the controversial match he had with Chris Benoit last week.
Come on, Cole. Have you ever seen The Undertaker in a good mood? Besides, I can understand why Taker is angry. Thanks to the ref, the match didn't solve nothing between the dead man and the rabid Wolverine.
You know, I thought I felt sorry for this man last week when he had to referee one of The Undertaker's matches, but now he's got to compete in one.
Well, that's what happens when you try to play favorites as a special referee.
Frankly, I'm not even sure that he played favorites, Taz. This could all be some sort of misunderstanding, but nevertheless, I guess we all understand now why no one else wanted to referee that match last week. Good evening, and welcome to SmackDown, coming to you tonight from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hot Atlanta is fired up tonight, Cole. No doubt about it, baby. And I'm just as pumped up as this sellout crowd.
With good reason, Taz. You and I both know what's coming. These fans are definitely getting their money's worth tonight.
Man, I'll tell you what, man, this one's just turned into a fight. Pure and simple.
We knew it was going to be intense. We knew it was going to be physical. But I don't think anyone was prepared for this.
You got to be careful when you're going up there. You know, there's no doubt that The Undertaker is one of the most impressive
I think we're about to see a high-risk move from the top rope. This is
Watch it. He reversed it.
I think that if one of these superstars successfully executes their finishing move, this one is over.
That ain't necessarily the case, Cole. Just because it's called a finisher doesn't mean it always ends the match.
You sound like you're speaking from experience here, Taz.
Of course not. What if I locked into Taz's mission? I don't know. He's putting a lot on the line going up there.
And the crowd has come alive tonight with a chant directed at the superstars in the ring.
Yeah, and you can't let that break your focus. But that's easier said than done.
Look at him go!
Wow! What an RKO!
The WWE superstars are all superb athletes, but they're also human beings, and there's only so much punishment a human body can... He's got him covered!
He slipped out of that one. That was like 2.5, Cole. Randy Orton's a mouthy little punk, Cole, and that's exactly the kind of guy that superstars will line up around the block to get a shot at.
Orton's never backed down from the fight, Taz. His mouth might get him in trouble, but he never seems unprepared for it.
There's not a
This is gonna be big, one way or the other. I don't think there's ever been a more dominant superstar in WWE than the legendary dead man, The Undertaker.
Yeah, but you can only stay on top of the mountain for so long, and the dead man's been there for a very, very long time.
That might be true, Taz, but
going up the turnbuckle hurts a heck of a lot less than coming down from the turnbuckle. This is dumb. Why is he risking everything by going up there? Man, his opponent looked like a punk with that counter. Well, it looks like they're slowing the pace down a little bit here. That might not be such a good move, in my opinion.
oh, come on.
Wow, now that one's not the rule book. But you know what they say, it's not a crime if you don't get caught.
I don't believe it. How could the referee...
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nothing costs you a match quicker than overconfidence.
What are you talking about? I see a dominant superstar who's rallying this capacity crowd behind him.
This has been a great match so far, and I think it's pretty out. I've seen matches won and lost because of moves like this. Whoa! I think these fans have got a little something they want to share with us.
That's their right, Taz. They paid for their tickets after all.
There's a dude with guts. These top rope moves are risky.
He's looking for his finisher.
And there it is, Cole. The RKO. Man, that'll take your head right off. Here's the pin. This could be it. 1, 2, 3.
Here's your winner, Randy Orton.
What? I didn't sabotage your match. You don't believe me? Fine. You don't scare me, dead man. Come on!
Out of my way, Junior. I want a rematch, Taker, without your flunky here.
What? Bring it!
Is that right?
I want my title match, Taker. Just you and me, so leave your little punk out.
Hey, what the hell?
Get your damn hands off me. You are mine, dead man. I'm sick of you ducking me, Undertaker. You know I'm the most dominant superstar in SmackDown, and you know you can't prove me wrong.
You think I'm afraid of you, little man? I can't count the number of superstars who have tested themselves against the dead man and come up short. If you insist on making this mistake, then your grieving family will have no one to blame but you when the inevitable occurs.
Let me holler at you, players. Now, you've obviously got some unfinished business with each other, and I respect that. But I also respect that there's a third superstar involved in this who would not have been involved if I didn't make him the special referee for your match 2 weeks ago. So tonight, for our main event, I'm giving him the chance to prove himself against you, Benoit, one-on-one. And I've got some big plans for No Mercy that involve the three of you. Holla, holla, holla.
What is Tilo talking about?
I have no idea, partner, but if I know our general manager, they're going to be huge.
And the
I'm Michael Cole alongside Taz, and we welcome you to Portland, Oregon. It's been a long time since we've come to Portland, and it's great to be back.
No doubt, Cole. Tonight, the Rose City's gonna get its face rocked. And I can't wait.
And neither can these fans. We better get started, or we might have a riot on our hands. Each of these competitors is looking for the slightest hint of weakness in the other.
That's the law of the jungle, Cole. An injured superstar's like a wounded animal. It's survival of the fittest.
And that also means that if you're not at 100%, you've got to be able to hide it from your opponent.
You got that right, Cole. This business is as psychological as it is physical. You can't let your opponent think you're easy pickings.
Well, I wouldn't consider any of these superstars to be easy pickings, no matter how beaten up they get. What a deadly submission hold this is. We might see a tap out right here.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit. The longer you stay in this, the more risk you have for serious injury. Here's the reversal, Cole.
He's climbing the turnbuckle. Will this pay off?
Whoa! I think these fans have got a little something they want to share with us.
That's their right, Taz. They paid for their tickets after all.
Oh, man, here he comes. RKO! RKO!
And there's the reversal. And here's the cover.
Here's your winner,
What do you want, Taker?
Save your hostility for the ring, Benoit. I came to tell you that I look forward to laying our differences to rest at No Mercy.
Aren't you forgetting about somebody?
He is a distraction. This began between the two of us, and by all rights, it should end between the two of us.
I hope you're not suggesting that we form some kind of alliance. Because I don't care which one of you I have to force to tap out tonight.
I'm not suggesting anything of the kind. I've said all I came to say. Actually, there is one more thing. I hope you have no illusions that you will make me submit tonight.
Here comes Chris Benoit, and Taz the Rabbit Wolverine looks even more intense and focused than usual for tonight's triple threat match.
Of course he does, Cole. There's a lot at stake here tonight. A lot of pride on the line.
Benoit must avoid losing to one of his opponents tonight in order to continue to No Mercy. And if he wins, he gets to choose the No Mercy match type. You've got to think that a triple threat match like this would favor a superstar like The Undertaker, Taz. It's hard enough to garner a victory over The Undertaker in the best of circumstances.
Maybe, maybe not. I know the other two guys in this match don't see eye to eye. But if they decide to team up against him, it could be bad news for the dead man.
Talk about your rotten luck. It was an order from Teddy Long that put this man in the middle of the rivalry between Benoit and The Undertaker, and he's been paying for it ever since.
You see it as a bad thing, Cole. But I see it as a good thing. Let's face it. Even if he loses here tonight, an impressive showing against superstars like Benoit and The Undertaker counts for something. You know what I mean?
It's the city so nice they named it twice. Tonight, SmackDown comes to you from the Big Apple, New York City.
A place that I am very proud to call home, Cole, and also a place that I'm proud to say I made my WWE debut in.
It sure is, partner. And you know it's always a huge event whenever SmackDown comes to the city that never sleeps.
You know, Cole, I got a lot of respect for Chris Benoit, but he also jumped back and forth between Raw and SmackDown more than any other superstar. It almost looks to me like he might be choosing the path of least resistance, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I doubt that very much, Taz. Chris Benoit never runs from anything. He's no coward.
Whoa, listen, I'm not calling Benoit a coward. I'm just saying that he might have a knack for picking his spots. He's got a surgically repaired neck, don't we forget. Who could blame him for wanting to take things easy?
Well, from what I've seen of Chris Benoit lately, he wasted no time going for that pin.
And he's going for it.
And he got it! RKO! And the crowd has come alive tonight with a chant directed at the superstars in the ring.
You know, I don't care how bad you want to win. He ain't taking any chances with this submission, Cole. Look at how tight he's got it locked in.
I see that, Taz. I wouldn't be surprised if he got his opponent to tap out right here. I think that that if one of these superstars successfully executes their finishing move, this one is over.
That ain't necessarily the case, Cole. Just because it's called a finisher doesn't mean it always ends the match.
You sound like you're speaking from experience here, Taz.
Of course not. Whenever I locked into Taz's mission, that was it. End of story. It was over.
I think you're developing a selective memory in your old age, partner.
You know, Cole, I'd ask you...
And there's the pin! What a counter that was!
Man, he slipped out of that one.
Each of these competitors is looking for the slightest hint of weakness in the other.
That's the law of the jungle, Cole. An injured superstar's like a wounded animal. It's survival of the fittest.
And that also means that if you're not at 100%, you've got to be able to hide it from your opponent.
You got that right, Cole. This business is as psychological as it is physical. You can't let your opponent think you're easy pickings.
Well, I wouldn't consider any of these superstars to be... Look at him, he's just radiating confidence. And he's got a lot to be confident about.
Yeah, but he looks a little overconfident to me, Cole. That could come back to bite him on a you-know-what. I don't know. He's putting a lot on the line going up there. These superstars have been going hard all match.
They sure have. And that's where the superb conditioning of the WWE superstars comes into play.
No doubt, Cole. There ain't no way you're going to win a match if you're out of gas 2 minutes into it.
You can say that again.
You got to be careful when you're going up there. Oh, man, these fans are fired up now.
They sure are. And you know that's going to have an effect on this match.
I can't deny that the legend killer Randy Orton had a pretty impressive career so far, Paul, but he better be careful that he don't burn out too quick.
I don't think there's much of a chance of that, Taz. I haven't seen any indication that Orton's going to stop impressing WWE fans anytime soon. I don't think there's ever been a more dominant superstar in WWE than the legend. I think someone's been taking flying lessons, Taz.
This is one heck of a...
He's looking for his finisher.
And there it is, Cole. The RKO. Man, that'll take your head right off. You know, I don't think you can keep going for much longer after taking that much punishment.
Wow, listen to that chant, Taz.
I'll tell you what, if you got the crowd on your side or against you, it makes a huge difference, believe me. Well, the name of the game is to... He's going for the cover, Cole. I gotta tell you, Cole, I thought I had this thing figured out. But now I got no idea how this is gonna end up.
Neither do I, Taz. And I think it's that unpredictability that makes it so exciting.
No doubt.
Look at these superstars, Taz. This can't go on much longer.
Chris Benoit's a great... Oh, man, here he comes. RKO! RKO! These superstars have been pounding the hell out of each other, and now we're starting to see the effects of that. Here's the pin.
I think we're hearing the first amendment in it.
That was like 2.5, Cole. I don't know, Cole. I'm kind of unsure about Randy Orton. I mean, he's a pretty boy, let's face it. He's accomplished a couple of big things, but I still think that he's about 90% hype.
A couple of big things? You mean like becoming the youngest world heavyweight champion in history? Making a career of killing legends? Having one of the long... Oh, my God, I think the referee's out, Taz.
I'll tell you, they gotta start getting sturdier refs, Cole. This kind of thing seems to happen all the time. This has been a great match so far, and I think it's pretty obvious which way it's going.
Oh, really? Are you willing to go out on a limb and actually make a guess, then?
There's no guesswork involved, Cole. But if you're gonna be snippy, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Wow, look at him go! Wow, what an RKO! There's not a superstar in the locker room who can afford to ignore these fans, Cole.
You're right about that. Without the fans, we'd all be out of the job.
He can get the pin right here.
Player, I don't know what the heck you were thinking last week, but you landed yourself